Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party. No Rhett today because it is Tuesday, April 14th. I only actually have a couple minutes again this morning. I've really been struggling, I guess, ever since daylight savings changed. I was able to kind of get a good 15, 20 minutes every morning before daylight savings, but now I just don't. Um, but I'm trying to keep the ball rolling. So even if I can't do much, I like to at least keep the ball rolling. Um, it is very important to just not let the project just completely come to a standstill. I did notice though yesterday, like I kind of have if you want to mentally visualize how the application works, I kind of have like um, like I have these services and there's two sets of services. One set is called an ST service, which in the ST service, I actually have a list of ST objects. And ST stands for space and time, and that is the how I want to define how the world should work. And then there's another one called three services, and those are um, different because those actually keep a list of ThreeJS objects that I need to possibly reference. And the thing is what makes, I don't think I'm actually cleaning up that list now that I think about it. I think there's a good chance that I'm actually leaving those things um, to they still probably still exist. And I think ThreeJS does a pretty good job of like cleaning itself up and getting rid of stray pieces of memory that aren't being used anymore. But if I keep a reference to their object, it's all for naught. It won't actually delete anything. I mean, it'll still be there, even though that's one of the weirdest things in JavaScript. It's kind of like um, when you delete something, it doesn't get deleted unless there are no more references to it. And as long as there's a reference to it, it's still around. Man, I cannot believe how long it's taken for this thing to start up again. So get a list of meshes that are using this ID. So that's definitely going to come from delete st geometry or st mesh. I don't even know if we have. I doubt we're even calling this from anywhere, but maybe we are. I don't know. Nope. So we don't call this from anywhere. So this is the st geometry service. So I'm guessing from the st mesh service. So console.log begin deleting process. All right. And so now we have this. And so from our mesh service, whenever we delete the mesh, we are going to want to delete, we're going to want to tell the geometry service that uh, it needs to delete it. So, and it's this geometry ID. Delete mesh. So we're iterating over all the meshes. In each mesh, each mesh only has one geometry. We don't have like an array of geometries. So, so each mesh has a geometry. So now we're going to delete that. So this dot and st geometry service. So we we do have a reference to the geometry service. The geometry service does not have a reference to the mesh service though, or at least it did not. So we have this, and now we're just going to pass it the geometry ID. And the mesh ID. All right, so, and it's probably in our best interest to actually st const st geometry ID colon number is equal to this. It's probably better to actually give it a um, variable name to instead of like that, just because it's just the cognitive load. It's just a lower cognitive load that will matter um, when the time comes to actually do like maintenance. It's going to matter a lot. Delete. Yeah, and so this is here. And so tomorrow we will begin the delete process. We will first thing, but the first step, of course, is that I need to go back to the mesh service to get a copy of the, let's see, S2 geometry so that I can get a list of meshes that are using this geometry. And as you see, I do not load the mesh service. And if I try to load the mesh service, I'm going to get the NG0200 error. So what we're going to need to do is actually create another little class that handles our delayed um, deferred dependencies. And the thing about the deferred dependencies is the only reason I want to use this scheme, this deferred dependency scheme, is because I need access to the actual state. So I need the actual variables. I don't need just general information, or I don't need some general processing. I actually need the specific state information for that instance. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.